Thank you for staying with us here on Joy 99.7 FM. My name is Nathaniel Attoh, and once again, it's an utmost pleasure to be in your company. Interesting week it has been. Of course, during the week, we did a lot in terms of updating you in the, on the happenings in Europe. Throwing the focus on Ghana internationals as well. And not so pleasant for the likes of Kwejo Asamoah and Christian Achu, who have to start looking away from their respective clubs. So, of course, we would have to see what happens during the transfer window. So today on the Joy Sports Link, we're visiting a subject that came up during the week. How much do you get paid at the end of the month? Well, how much do you get paid midway through the month as well? Are you satisfied with it? Well, of course, our footballers always want more, just like everybody else. So the political parties have been speaking and projecting on what exactly they would want to do for the nation, especially the sports sector, if they are retained or voted back into power. And I'm talking about the two major political parties. So, of course, sometime during the week, Joy Sports will bring you a special where we'll take a look at the offering of these two political parties as we get up towards December 7 for the presidential and parliamentary elections. But there is one key thing, however, that popped up during the week. So this is a quote assigned to the National Communications Director of the NDC, Sami Jemfina. He says that the NDC will establish a sports development fund, and every club that plays in the Premier League will be supported with funds to settle player salaries of an average of 1,500 Ghana cedis per player. And of course, this was in a conversation with Kumasi FM. So this sparked a lot of excitement. I mean, so many conversations starting off. And of course, if you follow any of our, social media handles, I'm talking at Joy Sports GH on Twitter, Instagram, and on Facebook, you'd realize that this particular infographic generated a lot of conversation. Of course, there were reactions from the football fraternity, especially one of the executive committee members who said that he was very much in support of any idea that could get each player 1,500 Ghana cedis when it comes to, the monthly allowance. I'm sure you'd want to listen to some of the comments that came on some of our pages, and I'd want to share some of them with you before we get into the main discussions for today. And of course, we're just exploring, the realities and how practical it can be, to implement a plan such as that for football. Of course, many of our players go into unorthodox football destinations, to make ends meet and also to make, things add up for their respective families economically. Now, sometimes you are very disappointed when you get to know of some of the salary levels of some of these players who play in some of these leagues outside of Ghana. But the argument that some of them generate is that, look, I would rather be out there, making a little more than I make here, or 100 or 200 Ghana cedis more than I make here, than sit in here and get this level of salary. So today we're just exploring, the realities. Later on, former Accra Hearts of Oak MD and sports marketing consultant Neil Armstrong Motagbe, who has, been in the thick of putting together or organizing some of the biggest sponsorship deals in this country, will be here in the studio. Also, a player in the Ghana Premier League, Abel Manome, who plays for Dreams FC, will also be here in the studio to have the discussions. But let me just take you through some of the responses that we, had. And obviously, because it was coming from, the opposition NDC, there's some who said, let me quote this one from Immortal Dabangu. He says that, this has sparked my football talent and NDC will surely win power. Okay, there's another message here, and it says, this is from Nana Bempa Osei. He says that this is not just laughable. They should build houses for them as well. Must we promise heaven during elections? So clearly this is someone who doesn't believe that it is possible and it can happen. There's another message from Jonas Maktete. He's a journalist who's now based in Europe. He says, fantastic. And then Okitichie Nana Kwame Pinkra Tuye says he is not serious. And then Neo Fedodu has sent us and he says, hey, these promises are too juicy to be true. Now, they sound too desperate. Can they be trusted? Okay. And then another one from Kenny Rogers. I'm sure this is the Ghanaian embodiment of the original Kenny Rogers. He says this is a scam. Okay, so these are messages that we've had. These are examples of messages that we've had during the week after we put out this post to take a look at how realistic it will be to do or put through a measure like this to support our football industry. So you're welcome to the Joy Sports link. Remember, it's +233 244 340 437 +233 244 340 437. Let's get talking about this. Remember, the show is very interactive and we are very big on your views as well. So I'll be welcoming my guests very, very shortly so that we can get the conversations going here on the Joy Sports link on Joy 99.7 FM. While we get ready to welcome our guests here into the studio, let me just bring you to date with one of the games ongoing in the English Premier League. It's Everton 2, West Bromwich Albion 1. It's halftime in that game. Later today, Leeds United play Fulham, Manchester United play Crystal Palace. Finally, the Reds are back in action. And of course, Arsenal play West Ham United. But guess what? Tomorrow on the Joy Sports Arena from 4:30 p.m. we'll bring you that big game. It's the defending, the defending champions going up against Chelsea. Chelsea-Liverpool, there are those who have always said that, look, this game has come a little too early. Some believe that whoever wins this game goes all the way. What do you think? You can send in a message. Remember, it's +233 244 340 437. We're exploring the realistic options or the realistic situation in wanting to have a minimum wage of over 1,000 Ghana cedis in the Ghana Premier League. We also want to take you close to those, who play the football on the pitch and who are at the receiving end of these resources, what they go through on a regular day, and how much they crave for wage levels such as these. So, of course, later on the Joy Sports Link, we'll be hosting Neil Armstrong Motagbe. He is a former MD of Accra Hearts of Oak and a sports marketing specialist. Abel Manome plays in the Ghana Premier League and he plays for Dreams FC. He'll be bringing us the players' perspective to this discussion. Remember, you can send in your messages ahead of time as we look at this particular subject. Okay, so there are a few more that are already coming in. There's one from Charles. Charles Wincott says, Nathaniel, this is a very interesting subject. I am looking forward to the day when the Ghana Premier League will be so attractive such that we can keep so many of our big name stars. Okay, Charles, thank you very much. Osei Kankama sent this one and he says, Nathaniel, this is a political peak season. You should expect such conversations to go on. But I want to see how practical it will be. I'm looking forward to the discussion. All right, thank you very much, Osei Kankam, for that one. Michael Grant has sent this message, and he says, well, if the Ghana Premier League can get our players to be comfortable so that they give us the kind of football that we want to see as football fans, then we are very much in support of it because our league is dying and the foreign leagues are taking over by the minute. All right, thank you very much for that one. Nana Yao Tre has also sent this message, and it reads, well, Nathaniel, I've been looking forward to conversations such as these because I know some footballers and I am very much appalled by their living standards. I'm hoping very much that something can be done about it so that we can enjoy our beautiful game. Okay. Thank you very much for that message there. So we're looking at how practical it is to get the minimum wage of 1,500 Ghana cedis per player in the Ghana Premier League. This is the Joy Sports Link. Of course, as we build up with these conversations as well, tomorrow, September 3rd, 2020, marks 45 years since David Kotai, also known as DK Poison, won Ghana's very first boxing world title. And of course, this happens to be the very first global silverware in any sport across board. So we've put together a documentary at Joy Sports, and of course it will be airing over the next 48 hours. We'll be confirming the date and time on the Joy News channel. And it's called The Boxing Loan. I'm sure you're all wondering why that name. Well, it also explores the circumstances around a loan that the boxing legend advanced to government back in the time when there was a very tough economic situation in the country. A lot of detail going behind the scenes, talking to some of the people who experienced the period, and of course the celebration of a great legend indeed. So that comes off, that anniversary is actually tomorrow. But of course, we will bring you the documentary later on. All right, thank you very much. And of course, we will get into the discussions now. And as I mentioned earlier, during the week, we had so many conversations popping up, especially because of a projection made by the communications director of the NDC that his party would make arrangements such that if they should win the election, players in the Ghana Premier League will have a certain minimum base when it comes to monthly allowances. And he quoted 1,500 Ghana cedis. Now, this was the communications director of the NDC who was speaking to Kumasi FM. Now, like I mentioned, this has generated loads of conversations with many people in the football fraternity welcoming that and also questioning how it can be achieved. What we're doing today on the Joy Sports Link is just to quickly take a look at what the reality of the situation is like when it comes to those who are playing the game and, of course, those who are able to draw resources to support the game when it comes to sponsorship and when it comes to other forms of support. So here with me in studio for now is Abel Manome, who is a player in the Ghana Premier League. He plays for Dreams FC. Abel, good to have you in the studio.
I would say it's an honor to be here because I've been listening to this show for a long time.
Yeah.
Sometimes even if I'm asleep, my senior brother who resides in UK now is Reverend Father Jerry Manome. He's an Northampton. He called me to listen because it's all about sports.
Yeah.
And I'm fortunate to be a student of sports now. So I think these information are very important. So it's an honor to be on your show today. Good
to have you here in the studio too. Now let's get into let's start from the ground. Okay. Now when you were growing up, what were the pieces of motivation for playing football? Let's begin from there for you.
Okay, so I recalled always sitting watching sports highlights every Monday evening, where you have the Ghana Premier League matches being played, with the goals. Then watching Abedi Pele and the Tony Yeboah during African qualifiers and World Cup qualifiers. Then, if I recall, I watched, as a young boy, I watched the African Cup tournament being played and how Ghanaians were faring, how players in Ghana were interviewed.
I see.
They will interview them in their homes.
Yeah.
They show their mansions. They tell their story. So all this was motivation for me, and
meaning that obviously the bit where they make very good money as well was a draw factor.
Sure, because
okay.
you could see that even in their environment, in their communities, and even in Ghana, they were held high esteem.
Okay.
And it showed that if you can put hard work, to passion or to talent, you could receive same. So all these were motivations to me growing up, and that helped me never to give up, but continue working hard to reach the limit that God has brought me now.
Wow, interesting stuff. If you just joined us, this is the Joy Sports Link on Joy 99.7 FM. We're exploring the possibility of having a minimum wage of over 1,000 cedis in the Ghana Premier League. What is the situation like now? What is the reality on the ground? What are some of the wage levels in some of our clubs? What's the reality? And how practical is it to get there where we can get, a certain comfortable base for each player, so that we can retain as much talent as we can and enjoy our football as much as we can. Send in your messages. It's +233 244 340 437. Once again, greetings to all of our friends who are joining us on My Joy Online TV as well. For this discussion, we've got Abel Manome, who plays for Dreams FC, and very shortly as well, Neil Armstrong Motogbe, who is a sports marketing specialist, FIFA marketing instructor, and a former MD of Accra Hearts of Oak, also joins for the conversations. Okay, and then you decided to take that path as well to play football here on the local scene.
Sure, and I would say that I've been lucky. I think hard work, God has seen hard work and has paid hard work. But in all this, I had to blend football with it. I have to blend education with it, because I keep watching documentaries of other ex-players who I wouldn't say they did plan their lives, but maybe these things that have come up, there were no real plans by real stakeholders of the league at that time to prepare their future for them. So when I read things like that, I watch documentaries as this. It motivated me to add education to it. So one day maybe not only becoming that window of hope to bring change to the system, but also to have a good future where people can see me as a model and say, oh no, this guy was able to blend education whilst he was playing high level of football in Ghana. Okay.
Now, you previously, before this, were applying your trade with Accra Great Olympics, who have great tradition in Ghana football. Dreams FC, in terms of longevity, have been relatively a younger side who are doing great things. Tell me about your experiences regarding remuneration, across board. You have playmates, you have people, you have conversations amongst yourselves. So tell me what the reality is like when it comes to, so that people have a graphic feel of what it is like on the ground.
Okay. So I'll give you a preamble first.
Okay.
So in 1993, there was a congress which was held in Winneba by various Ghanaian league players, Ghanaian league owners.
Okay.
And then it was passed that the league will move from amateurship to
professional. Very well.
Now, since that time, I think various GFA presidents, various club owners from various clubs have tried to manage the process to see how professional this league could be. But I think they do their bit, but the system doesn't really help. It is really, really stressful playing in Ghana. That is why you could see that a lot of players will just play half of a season and want to play outside. And that should tell you how it is stressful playing the Ghana Premier League. I'm working on my thesis with my M4, I'm looking at job satisfaction among domestic-based footballers in the Ghana Premier League.
Wow.
And my conversations with certain players will tell you, okay, analyzing them, I can tell you majority of Ghanaian Premier League players are receiving a range of between 80 to 250 Ghana cedis.
Okay. This is the Joy Sports Link on Joy 99.7 FM. This is where we have the big conversations, and of course, you get to learn so much. So I would want you to repeat that, from the thesis that you are working on. I really want you to repeat that, because sometimes when we're having the conversations, people feel, it's exaggeration. Okay? I want you to go over that again. The range that players are receiving, based on the work that you are doing. Tell us again. Go over it again.
Okay. So, with what I'm doing, I can tell you on authority that players in the Ghana, majority of them, they receive their salary between 80 cedis to 250 cedis. Why?
80 Ghana cedis to 250 Ghana cedis.
That's the range. Why?
I see.
Let me give you a reason. Because I took time. I took sample. I decided to create my boundary between Greater Accra region.
Okay.
Because it will be difficult to move around the whole country to take information and stuff.
Sure.
And out of 120 Ghanaian Premier League players, I took from Accra Great Olympics, Hearts of Oak, Inter Allies, and Liberty Professionals. Now all of them have got 30 registered players.
Okay.
57 of them range between 17 to 20 years.
Okay.
Now majority of them too, this is their first year playing the league. So you could see that they don't really have the name. They were either they were either recruited from Division 3, Division 2, and the Coast League. Now no Ghana Premier League club will pay players like this kind of money. Now the players, when you have interactions with them, the job of playing the Ghana Premier League is enough, because they have the belief that just a season of me shining, I can get the club outside, and that is one main reason why it ends up like that. I know club owners do very well to make sure footballers are very comfortable, but without fans coming to the stadiums to watch games, they can also get their incomes to pay us our salaries and other stuff. So this is one factor that is making this whole lot of process of player incomes, player salaries being a factor in the Ghana Premier League. Okay, now
this is the time where I bring in Neil Armstrong-Motagbe. It's been a while. Good to have you here on the show. Neil Armstrong-Motagbe is a sports marketing consultant, a specialist, and also a FIFA marketing instructor, and a former MD of Accra Hearts of Oak. Neil, good to see you. And Neil is an Accra as well. I needed to add that.
Good to see you. Good morning to you. Good morning, Abel.
Yeah, afternoon actually.
The morning has been tough. Not tough,
I know.
But, it's been an exciting morning.
Yeah. And today is your mom's birthday.
Yeah, that's why it's been an exciting morning. So
exactly.
I'm in a morning sort of mood.
Very well. Very well.
Yeah,
very
my
well.
mom is 82 today.
Oh wow! Happy birthday to her.
Give the appropriate reverence.
Very well. Very well.
If God hadn't used that as a channel, I wouldn't be sitting.
Here. That's right. That's right.
Happy birthday, Mama Rose Montegwe. Your children honor you. Your grandkids love you and they honor you also. And we pray that 82 it's been quite a while.
Yeah.
We pray that God keeps you here a little bit more to let those of us who are old and still want to suck mommy's breast get a little breast. But that's
sure.
on the lighter side.
Very well.
Good to be
Very
here.
well.
It's been a while.
Sure.
I was in your partner station's studio on Wednesday, I reckon.
Exactly.
It was a very interesting time with Wallace.
And
it's good to be here.
Great.
The Joy FM crowd. We've been together since, when was the last time?
It's been a while.
Something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we started in the late 90s, and it's been a very, very good relationship.
Very well.
To be back home.
Very well. Now, we've been talking about the realities on the ground for Ghana Premier League players, and Abel, thankfully, is also pursuing, higher studies, and is devoting his thesis to the subject of job satisfaction amongst Ghana Premier League players. And he's revealing something very, very interesting, especially for those who are outside of the football box. That players receive 80 to 250 Ghana cedis. I mean, you are a former MD of one of Ghana's two biggest clubs. Okay, tell me what it is from the point of view of the club owners and administrators, what they have to go through to squeeze these amounts, which obviously are very, very meager as well.
Well, thanks for the question, and once again, good afternoon to everyone. Abel, let me just speak to what Abel spoke to a short while ago. You know, it's heartwarming, and I want to commend you, Abel, for taking this line of education, if you like. And I don't mean to be condescending, but there are very few people who are going into the science of our sports, who are going into the economics of our sports. And when it is that you come up with a statistic like what you shared, it puts things in perspective. A lot of times when those of us who work in sports in general, and then in football in particular, raise issues about the difficulties that we face running clubs, financing clubs, it seems like we are whining. But that statistic is revealing that out of the sample he took, 80 CDs to 250 CDs is the average monthly salary, or the range of salaries that players of the Premier League clubs within the sample, okay, he spoke about, Greater Accra, are taking. Somebody may say, okay, why don't we widen it? But I would reckon that with the numbers of football clubs that we have in Ghana and in Greater Accra, you could call what he has a fairly representative sample, and it becomes an exercise for somebody who wants to go further to widen it, if you like, and let's see a wider national picture. But the demographics of the players that we have in Accra would very well match what we'll see in the other regions of Ghana. So let's work with Abel's statistics. So here you have 80 CDs to 250 CDs a month earned by a player playing in Ghana's Premier League as average. You ask yourself, what's the player going to do with this money? And your question to me was, what are the difficulties that club owners and club administrators go through in raising resources and funds to take care of players, because players are the geese that lay the golden eggs. And it's clear, the difficulties are enormous. It's not easy running